We see the immediate pivot into Pangoro. Trainer 31 farms up. The opponent tries to make the double resisted close combat catch onto Giratina. Uh-oh, trainer, you're in trouble. Pangoro now going to start spamming out Night Slash after Night Slash. Welcome back to the channel. Master League is here, and without a doubt, this has always been the hardest place to run fighters. They've always had play, because steel types, cough, Dialga, yes, I'm talking about you, rule the roost. With that logic, you've always been able to run a fighter, but it's been heavily alignment dependent. You always needed to get your fighter on that steel type, because if you're aligned against something like a ghost or psychic type, you are in shambles. Step up to the plate, the buffed Karate Chop variant of Pangoro is not only able to handle them steel types that you expect your fighter to be, due to its fighting a dark typing, it also resists both psychic and ghost, meaning it can do something that other fighters have never been able to do before. Is it going to be any good in the Open Master League? Well, there's only one way to find out. Without any further ado, let's get into the battle. And in game one, today's featured battler, Trainer 31, is going to lead Palkia into Mewtwo. A pretty neutral matchup. Palkia, pretty good in all neutral matchups due to just how busted Dragon Breath is. The opponent farms up, attempt to throw the Side Strike on the CMP tie to a potential Aqua Tail. We see Trainer 31, invest in Protect Shield, over farm up to the Spatial End before baiting with the Aqua Tail. Aqua Tail goes unshielded, and we see him then save switch into Pangoro. It's not too often you're going to send a fighter out into a Psychic type, but that Side Strike is going to be single resisted, due to fighting taking super effective and dark double resisting psychic. Our Pangoro save switch is met by the opponent's Palkia. We fire off the close combat, forcing our Protect Shield back and then re-enter the mirror. Trainer 31 with only one Protect Shield too high behind, calls the Aqua Tail bait like a savage. He then overfarms before firing off his own Aqua Tail, which is double resisted and simply will not knock out. It looks like Trainer 31 looking to leave some health on this Palkia, giving Rhyperior a running start. The opponent fires off their own Aqua Tail, which doesn't get the job done, so we do see the snipe with Rhyperior. Out comes Duskmane, this season's meta threat of Rhyperior, looking primed to sweep. The opponent tries their luck, making a catch. Trainer 31 like, nah, I can see that coming a mile away. We fire off the Rock Wrecker nearly one-shots. The opponent throws on alignments, and simply all we've got to do is shield. The Mud Slap will register, and we're going to be off to a 1-0 start. GG's, and thanks for playing. In the next battle, yikes, we see Primarina. This one is the Waterfall variant, which is a huge core breaker for this line of three. Palkia hitting the double resisted with the Dragon Breaths. Rhyperior would take double super effective from the Waterfalls. And honestly, when the hell do you want to send a fighter out into a fairy type? It's kind of ironic that Palkia is probably our best response to this, as our dragon water type in a double resist their quick move of Waterfall. We actually managed to force a Protect Shield back with the Aqua Tail. We're actually going to see Trainer 31 look to 2-shield Palkia, just looking to remove this very annoying fairy from the field of play. This looks like a prime example of why Palkia is ranked number 2 on PV Poke, as it's able to bully its way through this type disadvantaged matchup. It looks like the opponent now finds himself in the scenario we were in, being completely core broken, as I'm not entirely sure you want to send Kyogre out into a loaded Palkia. Spatial End forces the final Protect Shield. We're able to reach the next Spatial End, which almost knocks out, and then we see the pivot into Rhyperior. Please tell me we caught a Thunder. Oh my days, what a savage. The opponent gets the Thunder caught, say this game is trash, concede the match, probably never to play again. Heading into the next battle, we lead Palkia into Yveltal, a Pokemon that has been greatly appreciative of the Sucker Punch buff. The opponent save switches into Dialga, and here comes Rhyperior. All the way since Season 1, or even pre-season, people that have access to Dialga have been safe switching it. However, this season, it really isn't that good, just because of how common Rhyperior is. The opponent looked to play out the one shield, but Rhyperior already doubled up on charge moves, fires off the break-in swipe, securing the knockout, and leaves reasonably healthy with some residual energy good to go. Back out comes Yveltal. Trainer 31, not baiting. Does the opponent respect the damage? They do not. They near get one shot, and we're going to see the opponent concede the match. Rhyperior, come on buddy, have a chill pill. Let Pangoro have some fun. Speaking of which, we see Dialga in the lead and a save switch into Pangoro. The opponent tries their luck, catching the double resisted close combat onto Giratina unsuccessfully. And this Giratina is now going to be spammed with Night Slash after Night Slash. Pangoro fires off the second. Unfortunately, we don't see the boost. Unless this opponent's on Dragon Pulse, we really have nothing to fear. Oh, come on. Who runs Dragon Pulse? Despite the opponent having the ability to hit us for neutral, Pangoro able to survive the damage, reach one further Night Slash. It's only taken 8 turns to Night Slash, which is incredibly spammy, and still get Giratina very low. Out comes Kyogre. We then pivot back out into Palkia, and it looks like alignment in this battle will be key. And unfortunately, we're on the wrong side of it. In the 2-shield, I really don't see a win con at this stage. I imagine the opponent just looked to let this Spatial Wren go. The opponent actually shield Dialga, so perhaps we can go for a full Mud Slap farm down. Spam that Kyogre with a Rock Wrecker and hope it gets the job done. Rock Wrecker, a very hard hitting charge move. It is a Blast Burn clone, but Kyogre is pretty bulky. We do send out Rhyperior, commit to the full Mud Slap farm down. Trainer 31, going for the correct player, full send of the nuke, Rock Wrecker, force the Protect Shield, and we don't even reach the second, and we are going to take a heartbreaking loss. GG's to that opponent. In the next battle, we see Palkia into the Kentucky Fried Chicken Bird of Death Master League Edition. A very nice lead for Palkia. Trainer 31 going to farm up, fire off the Aqua Tail. Aqua Tail goes unshielded. We then see the attempted catch onto Rhyperior. The opponent hold their energy, and unless this is a Solar Beam, I really don't agree with the opponent throwing their energy. It looks like the opponent went for the chip and dip, as I haven't really got a great response for this Rhyperior. Imagine playing Master League and being weak to this season's probably most common Pokemon. They manage to get the attack drop. They can tank the Rock Wrecker, fire off the Dark Pulse, removing Rhyperior from the field of play. But this just sets up free farm for either Pokemon. We send out Pangoro. Pangoro looks to fire off the Night Slash, but unfortunately play to the CMP tie. We do not win. And holy moly, that resisted Moongeist Beam didn't look resisted. In fairness, Moongeist Beam, one of the finest moves in the game. Back out comes Ho-Oh. We pivot back out into Palkia, and Palkia is going to be tasked with doing a lot of the heavy lifting. We're going to see the instant shield deploy, blocking up the incoming Side Strike, and these Dragon Breaths are just going to tear through Mewtwo's HP stat. There's no point even baiting the Spatial Wren, just straight Aqua Tail spam is going to be the way to go. We're going to see Trainer 31 burn the final Protect Shield, blocking up the next Side Strike. He's then going to farm up to the double Aqua Tail. I believe the opponent's one short. So unless they make a catch, we'll be removing Mewtwo from the field of play. The opponent doesn't make that catch. Aqua Tail will be secure in the knockout. We're going to pivot back out into Pangoro. Pangoro, like, you think I'm not good into flyers? Well, I'm super spammy, and they're in Night Slash range, so Pangoro is going to carry us over the line. GG's. Heading into the next battle, we're going to see Palkia into Gyarados. Due to them not actually being a dragon, this is an advantageous matchup for Gyarados, as they hit for super effective, whereas we only hit for neutral. We see Trainer 31 farm up, make a very savage crunch catch onto Pangoro. Our Pangoro Say Switch is answered by Metagross, and this is actually not the worst matchup for us whatsoever. We heavily overfarm before going for the cheeky Night Slash bait, forcing us early shield advantage. I'll be interested to see if we can actually flip this matchup going straight Night Slash. Let's see if this does 50% of the remaining HP. Not quite, but the Karate Chops might put him into Night Slash range. It's going to be incredibly close. Unfortunately, it looks like we're never going to find out if that's Night Slash range. As we actually get greedy, end up playing to the CMP tie. Undeterred though, we send back out Palkia, baiting back out Gyarados. We farm to the Spatial Wren bait with the Aqua Tail. Aqua Tail forces the final Protect Shield. And Trainer 31's like, you know what? We're going to put it all on Rhyperior. The opponent actually go for the Aqua Tail, which is double resisted, not secure in the knockout. We fire off the Spatial Wren, go for the undercharge, looking to snipe, but unfortunately, the opponent still get knocked out. But we send out Rhyperior. Rhyperior fully Mud Slap farms down Metagross. Out comes Giratina, and this game looks signed, sealed, and delivered. Due to Rhyperior having access to the buff variant of Mud Slap, it takes us 12 turns, then 9 turns to each of these break-in swipes. Giratina is pretty much helpless at this point. We're going to fire off one further break-in swipe, which goes unshielded. Unfortunately, a non-stab break-in swipe, not the hardest hitting move, but luckily Rhyperior, incredibly spammy, reaches the next break-in swipe, and that's going to be all she wrote. GG's. Heading into the next battle, we're going to see Palkia into Landorus. Very, very nice lead for us, especially now that this thing isn't anywhere near as spammy as it once was. The opponent Say Switch into the basic Bitch Tin Can, and Rhyperior comes in looking to have a tasty little snack. It takes Dialga 17 Dragon Breaths to the Iron Head, so it looks like we can fully Mud Slap farm this thing down. Oof, that is so rough for the opponent. We get that full Mud Slap farm down and leave absolutely loaded. Back out comes Landorus. We full send the Rock Wrecker, which goes unshielded, and Rhyperior is just running rampant, running through this opponent's team. We fire off the breaking swipe, which isn't quite lethal, and then we snipe with Palkia. The opponent putting all their hopes and dreams on a 2-shielded Dustmane Necrozma. However, they very quickly burn the first Protect Shield, blocking up the Aqua Tail. Palkia already at the second Aqua Tail. Dustmane chooses to burn the final Protect Shield, and the opponent is going to concede the match. Pangoro not getting too much screen time, but my god. If I was Dan Ottawa saying, a lot of people like to say that Pokemon are overhyped. My god, believe the hype with Rhyperior. This thing is an absolute monster. I really want to see the Shadow variant in action, or that thing isn't all that common. Does anyone have the Shadow variant? I think Boston does, but that's far too meta for him. In the next battle, we see Rayquaza in the lead. We're able to win lead. Out comes Mewtwo. We bait the Aqua Tail, then reach the Spatial Rend. Is the opponent willing to 2-shield Mewtwo? Boo. Yes, they are. This looks like Pangoro's time to shine. As long as we don't get hit with a Focus Blast to the face, we're going to see the instant no-shield deployed. The opponent actually go for the Side Strike, which is single resisted. It looks like Pangoro operating as the damage sponge, just about able to survive. Back-to-back Side Strikes and reach a Night Slash. Night Slash won't be lethal, but we'll leave him low. We then send out Rhyperior, looking for the snipe, and the opponent enters the mirror. Trainer 31 has got shield advantage, but where do you burn that final shield? Mewtwo is low, but potentially will reach a Side Strike, which of course would do objectively more than a breaking swipe from Rhyperior. Of course, they have got access to Surf and Super. Not that anyone runs that in Master League, but of course, that would hit for super effective. Can we mod stat farm down that Mewtwo? Uh-oh. No, we can't. Mewtwo fires off the Side Strike, removing Rhyperior from the field of play. We're able to get the resisted Karate Chop farm down, and Pangoro finally pulls its weight, and we take that game. In the next battle, we see another Primarina in the lead. This one is on Charm, so we are ABA weak. The opponent sends out Zarude, and this looks like RPS for the loss. We fire off the Rock Wrecker, which goes unshielded. Rock Wrecker, a very hard-hitting move, but Zarude, pretty bulky. Trainer 31, like, yeah, not for me. We're going to pretend that didn't happen and move on to the next battle. We see Landorus in the lead. In the not-so-distant past, this thing was probably the most common Pokemon in the Master League. Having that ability to get a guaranteed debuff after just 5 mud shots made it so common. However, this season it's taken 6, 6th and 5. That pacing has really affected this Pokemon. Especially in matchups like this, as it's taken them even longer to debuff us, meaning the Dragon Breaths are just going to do more and more. It looks like we see Trainer 31 fall victim of that 5 cycle. He looked to fire off the Aqua Tail, but ends up playing to CMP, and we're actually forced to burn 2 Protect Shields in a very advantageous matchup. We then see Florges enter the battlefield, and we see the pivot into Rhyperior. If the opponent switches out here, I think we're just cooked, as Pangoro is going to be completely useless. Luckily for us, the opponent is staying in, so I'm calling something like Dialga in the back. We fire off the break-in swipe bait, forcing the Protect Shield and getting the debuff. We really need to survive this move. Disarming Voice doesn't get the job done. The opponent doesn't make the Rock Wrecker catch. Show me that Dialga. I want to see it boomed. We see the instant pivot into Pangoro, and out comes Yveltal. Unfortunately, not what we're looking for, but this close combat is still going to land for some heavy neutral damage. Close combat gets them below half health. Oblivion Wing going to easily pick up the 1-hit KO. Palkia is low, but does have residual energy. It looks like we're going to be unable to reach the Spatial Rend. Aqua Tail won't be lethal, but gets the opponent low. It's going to be Dragon Breath versus Sucker Punch. We see a Simul KO, but Rhyperior is still alive, so we're going to take a very close game. GG's to both trainers. Huge shout out to Trainer 31 for a very fun battle submission. To answer my own question in the intro, is Pangoro worth your investment for the Open Master League? Unfortunately, it looks like it's nothing more than fun spice. It of course does have targets, but unfortunately just not enough. However, Rhyperior, believe the hype, that thing is a monster. On the plus side, apparently if you're on Pangoro, you do get rewarded with a 4-star perfect IV Pokemon. So if you're enjoying the content, smash that like button. If you're new, consider subscribing if you like your battles featured on my channel. A link to my battle submission form is down below. And a huge thank you to everyone for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.